Bullful, and this is Uncut News. CXC and CAPE scores were released this week, and according to parents, teachers, students, and the Education Ministry, the CXC is DPS. In fact, Minister Manichan has already contacted the CXC registrar to let them know just how angry we are. The ministry said students, parents, and teachers have complained of wild discrepancies in the projected grades and the results of many students, which basically translated to the whole country did poorly, even schools which statistically do better. Refusing to believe that every single student in the nation suddenly turned dunce for a year, the ministry said it will ensure the matter is resolved as quickly and as fairly as possible. But the students and the top schools of the nation are not having it. Students have already started protesting, whilst Queen's College is threatening to pull out of the CXC program altogether. But the GTU is apparently ready to start kicking teeth, saying, quote, CXC, fix your business or Guyana will fix it for you. No, those weren't my words. I mean, the head of the GTU, Coretta MacDonald, literally said, fix yourself or we'll fix it for you. Which is the exact sort of thing you say to a person before you give them a jumbie lash. Haha. The CXC responded on its Facebook page saying that students can query their grade and have each subject in question reviewed for just $30 each. Just $30 each. I wonder how many people would struggle to pay for that, especially those who have questions with multiple subjects. U.S. Ambassador to Guyana, Sarah Ann Lynch, made it clear that we have sold out to the Americans through and through. According to her, Mike Pompeo's visit was, quote, not just a one-time event, and we should expect visits from even more, quote, high-ranking U.S. government officials as well as a variety of private sector businesses, end quote. Americans want to partner with Guyana as the country has, quote, demonstrated its commitment to democracy, the rule of law, and strong government institutions, end quote. These weren't my words again, these were the ambassadors. Anyway, Pompeo's visit saw the launching of a Growth in the Americas initiative, an agreement to increase trade and investment on building infrastructure, the energy sector, and information technology. A second part, the Ship Rider Agreement, was also signed and will enable the United States to legally patrol the nation's waters for drug traffickers. Or at least that's what the official story is. The Civil Aviation Authority has received a $609 million bailout in the 2020 national budget. This allocation is aimed at ensuring that the regulatory agency keeps its international certification in order. Budgetary issues compounded by the severe reduction of flights in and out of the nation, as well as over the nation due to the pandemic, has forced the government to support the agency that is usually able to collect all of its own revenue. To be compliant, they will allot $440 million for the ICAO cover reserve, and the remaining $169 million will be put towards bridging an operating deficit. Why there was a deficit in the first place? Well, Minister Edgell refused to explain. BM South is Guyana's #1 auto dealer. There's something special in store for you if you visit them at Lot 9 Crawler Street, Georgetown tomorrow, and tell them Noriko sent you to find out about their special offer this week. Call them on telephone number 231-8451. BM South Auto Sales. It's your turn to drive. Police are investigating a home invasion and robbery that occurred in Fairs Rust Extension, Mackenzie Linden early this morning. Police headquarters in a statement noted that the two victims were asleep when one of them woke up to answer a knock at the door. He was confronted by two men, one of whom was armed with a gun. They were robbed of $114,000 in cash and their cell phones before the bandits escaped. However, hours later, a man fitting the description of one of the suspects showed up at the Linden Hospital with a gunshot injury in the leg. He is currently being treated under police guard. A security supervisor was arrested on Tuesday for attempting to shoplift at Gifflin Mall. Yes, a security guard was accused of shoplifting. The suspect, who is attached to a private security firm, and attempted to shoplift a pair of footwear valued at $21,000. However, the mall's own security caught him in the act. He is expected to appear in court tomorrow. Yesterday, a convicted rape man at the Lusignan prison was busted with a quantity of, well, it looks like a bag of Selassie's worst, if you ask me. prison officials decided to search the inmate after seeing him act in a suspicious manner. The suspected drugs amounted to 190 grams. The government is still assembling the necessary human resources for the investigation into the murders of the Henry Boyz and Harris Singh. This means that the regional security system team is coming soon, and they have also requested the British government to investigate the killings and subsequent events in Berbice. Nevertheless, the police have not announced any new information from the case. Surprise, surprise. You there, bumpy-faced person, don't you think it's time to do something about those blockheads? This premium blockhead remover vacuum can help. Get it delivered to you in Georgetown, Berbice, or Linden. Call Triple B's on telephone number 682-8326 or visit them on Facebook. Triple B's Enterprise. Remember the name. Now, let's take a look at news in the region. In another reminder that scamming is international, police in Trinidad returned to the home of an alleged pyramid scheme operator in La Horquetta on Wednesday. It came hours after Commissioner of Police Gary Griffith launched a high-level investigation to determine who decided to return more than $22 million that was seized from the house. The money was seized by officers who executed a search warrant at the house. It was handed back to the operator of the scheme on Wednesday without the knowledge of the commissioner. 8 suspects were also released, while a 9th person was kept in custody for illegal possession of ammunition. Several persons were arrested in Seaview Gardens in St. Andrew, Jamaica last night after an attack on a police team, which went to the community to lock down an illegal party that saw close to 200 persons in attendance. The promoter of the party was instructed to turn off the music and send the patrons home. But instead of following the reasonable instructions from the officers, some of the patrons refused and started pelting the officers with stones and bottles. One officer needed to get stitches in his head. While in the same party, a group of women also reportedly attacked a female officer and tore off pieces of her uniform. 4 of the reported female aggressors were arrested and charged. In May, bodies were piling up so fast in Manaus, Brazil, that authorities struggled to bury them all. At one point, the death rate for the city hit 19.4 per 100,000 persons, nearly 5 times worse than the national average, which is saying something because Brazil is like number 3 in the world right now in terms of the Rona. However, since June, the number of cases and deaths in Manaus has dropped sharply. This has prompted some to speculate that the city had developed herd immunity. Now, a new study by an international team of researchers has suggested that that's exactly what happened. They estimated 44 to 66% of the city's population was infected with the Rona. Now, the researchers believe that the virus has simply started to run out of people to infect. However, the study provides no information on just how long immunity to the Rona lasts. Don't fall for these get-rich-quick schemes, people. There is a legit way you can earn some extra cash to supplement your existing hustle. Sell Top-Up. You could become a top-up vendor quick and easy by linking Cellular Plus. Call them on telephone number 685-3109 for more info. And now for our weird news story of the day. A factory in Vietnam has been busted for what is probably the most disgusting scam in the world. The illegal factory was caught washing and recycling thousands of used condoms and then selling them to unsuspecting customers. Police swooped in on an apartment in the south of the country where they found over 300,000 unlabeled and unpackaged condoms. Detectives say the factory received a weekly consignment of condoms from an unidentified person and were then repacked. An unknown amount of dirty contraceptives were sold to the public, reports Vietnam Insider. Used condoms are considered a major risk to the public and can still spread STDs. Moving on to our Uncut News Views Poll question of the day. Every day we pose a question about current events in Guyana, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it relates to us. So, you give your responses in the comments, and we just might read the best ones in the following episode. Yesterday's question was, what should the government do to encourage more diaspora interest? Marlo G said, they got to find a way to get the younger generation that are fresh out of college and university that are going into the work field to come home for jobs. So they have to create these infrastructures and programs and hire the people, but make it worth their while. Also, they have to develop the state of the economy in a way that makes people want to go back home. Invest in tourism, medicine, technology, media, and find the few things that Guyanese do best and invest. Let's take examples from these larger nations, but also create our own unique path and experience. I love that answer. And KS said their job is simple: eliminate crime, streamline the government, primarily the license officers, and do away with the import tax. But most importantly, take corruption and racism out of the government. Amen. Seriously, it don't matter how much duty-free cars and cheap land they dangle in front of you. If people can't get peace of mind and stable government and business environment, nothing that they do matters. I agree with them fully. Good answers, people. So tonight I leave you with this question. What is your opinion on the drama going down with the CXC? Should the students redo the exams, or should the CXC just figure it out themselves? Think about that question and tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in Friday's episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight. Check us out tomorrow for another. Until then, I'm Noriko Bullford saying good night, folks. Hey Uncut News viewers, thanks for watching. You can subscribe by clicking on this button over here, or click over there for more news. You can also drop a comment to let me know if you've made it to the end of the video. Goodbye for now!